is Team NP versus compLexity Gaming in what is our winner bracket
10
finals.
seconds
The North
remaining.
American region Kiev major qualifiers.
Surprise.
5 seconds remaining.
It was it though? Was it too much of a surprise that NP and compLexity are going to be facing against each other?
Reserve
I was
time.
not being serious.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been a
actually,
surprise.
I kept
it was
going-
close to being a surprise.
It was very
Seeing
close.
Freedom.
It could have been Freedom Cole. I mean, Cole blew out Onyx, but
Yeah.
it could have been Freedom Cole. That would have been truly hilarious to me.
But this is definitely the series that everybody was anticipating to be in the winner bracket finals and probably the grand finals as well. So this is round one for these two teams because North American, if you guys have watched some of the previous qualifiers for NA, but maybe didn't keep up to date, previously there were two regions for North America in the qualifiers, but here there's only
10
one
seconds
spot. So
remaining.
this winners bracket final, it really doesn't mean too much.
5 seconds
Just means you get to chill out a little bit more.
I think
and
it
prep.
means. I think it means a pretty decent amount.
I think it establishes.
Complexity.
It allows you to kind of relax a little bit.
Yeah.
It lets you see everything. Cole's gonna take Call, right? There's no way they don't take the old man.
Oh yeah, we've talked about this quite a bit. Lone Druid first pick. We should have a Coddle, and then I mean, if it
10
was an NA,
seconds
I would say
remaining.
Slordar. I'm okay with
5
Baden.
seconds remaining.
Abaddon since Europe's flavor is Omni Knight. NA's flavor would be Abaddon.
Coddle Abaddon.
I think Timbersaw is not
Complexity's
bad
turn to
versus
pick.
Lone Druid as well.
The root mechanic kind of destroys you now, though.
Yeah, but I like the fact that Timbersaw is one of the better heroes to stand in front of Lone Druid pushes.
Fair enough. I can
think
see that.
I think it's like there are
10
two
seconds
phases to Lone
remaining.
Druid, right? In that he has a really strong laning phase, and then you
5
could
seconds
potentially
remaining.
group up and just bowl down towers because that guy's still strong team fight power and he gives you
Reserve
really
time.
great pushing. Or that's like phase one, and then phase two is the later game where you become a sniper and you just pew pew pew. Oh,
Ooh.
Brewmaster! This was picked up a number of
Team
times
pick.
against the Lone Druid.
It's a pretty interesting combination. Coddle Brewmaster. That's a strong dual lane too.
Yes.
Just spam out lanes, blast with clap.
This is definitely complexity having a strategy in mind, letting the Lone Druid
10
out there. But
seconds remaining.
how does Brewmaster counter Lone Druid Blitzdota?
You can throw the
5
bear in the air,
seconds remaining.
Throw the bear in the air like you just don't care.
and your Stone Panda is magic
Reserve
immune, so he
time.
can't get roared. So you
Mhm.
can stun him or lift even the Lone Druid in the air. So you got a lot of options. You can just disable.
Miss percentage chance as well is pretty nice when
Oh,
you're
yeah,
in your
that's
regular form.
So annoying because you
Yeah.
don't want to get an MKB on Lone Druid.
So a lot of options, but it's going to be a very early lifestealer pickup
Complexity's
for
turn to
NP, a hero that will be able to ignore a lot of these evasion mechanics, Blinding Light, as well as Drunken Haze when he's able to rage up. But it does mean NP have picked up both their cores and don't actually have
10 seconds
these cores
remaining.
oriented to counter anything on Complexity's draft.
Yes,
5
they're just good
seconds
cores.
remaining.
Well, Lifestealer's pretty good against Keeper, and you can always dispel off the haze with rage.
Mhm.
So you ban Ogre,
Dire team
NP.
back.
What do you ban here? Cores that deal well with this, like Weaver. Maybe they're annoyed with the silencer as well.
Ten seconds
You want
remaining.
Complexity to ban the silencer?
I want NP to ban the silencer or the Weaver.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh, okay. Definitely the Weaver. I'm with you on that. Why the silencer?
Just looked like a
Reserve
hero that they
time.
kind of struggled with earlier today. I guess they have a Lone Druid and a Lifestealer, so they care a lot less.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think either one of these heroes are too nervous about.
You need Burst right now on the side of Complexity. Like they're two annoying heroes. Now they need some real damage dealers to back it up.
Yeah.
They banned the Skitter Scatter like we predicted.
Complexity's
High five,
turn
Austin.
to ban.
I still think Sardar is a decent ban. Amplify damage on both the Bear, the Lone Druid, as well as the Lifestealers. Strong, and it's
10 seconds remaining.
But what position do you put him in when you already have kind of a greedy Coddle?
yeah. I guess your
5
Coddle's
seconds
the
remaining.
off lane support, and you'd have to.
Ban Rubik. Nope.
Dire team ban.
Doesn't that mean NP takes Rubik? I guess not. Team NP will then ban You need a burst. Maybe the sniper?
10 seconds remaining.
I'm trying to think of cores that can deal with this
5
LD.
seconds remaining.
To the hero list.
Reserve time.
What if NP was able to get like Slardar Darkseer or something?
Slardar Darkseer? They would have like, I don't know. Maybe not enough.
Complexity's turn to pick.
Complexity. I don't know. NP's left it relatively open. There's nothing really that's revealed anything so far. Maybe
10
Complexity can take
seconds
like
remaining.
Warlock. It's good against Lone Druid. Good against Lifestealer.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Reserve time.
You'd have some big time ultimates, long cooldowns, be a little bit reliant on that, but
Oh, they do take the Abaddon. It just
Dire team pick.
came later on than we expected because we thought it'd be a first 2.
yeah, we were looking at Abaddon as our off laner. Then when Brewmaster gets picked up, that kind of gets shuffled aside, but they are still willing to run the Abaddon, possibly as support here.
Interesting.
10 seconds remaining.
I think it's more likely.
5
Bruce.
seconds remaining.
You like Bruce support?
I'm trying to think right now.
Oh, Bane.
Complexity's turn to pick.
They did need lockdown for the Brewmaster.
That is interesting, picking up Bane against Abaddon. Like, you can just sleep out the Abaddon, kinda. I think it's still borrow time, though, to get out of it.
10
But
seconds remaining.
if you sleep anybody else, you Fiend Script anybody else, you just have the Aphotic Shield that's going to be
5
removing that.
seconds
So
remaining.
what else do you think about the Bane is you just need a really strong
Reserve
laning
time.
support to deal with Coddle Brewmaster?
Because you think that the Lone Druid and the Lifestealer is going to be enough for you in way of damage, and they're pretty good. It's a pretty good way to set up your lanes. I know that Team NP especially like to pick it up. If for some reason Abaddon wastes his shield, then Bane's going to be right there. You can also sleep the Abaddon, grip the Brewmaster. Boom.
So you can't borrow times off sleep?
I guess you can. But you want to use it like that in the beginning, then
Well, I mean,
You're
if,
Gucci too.
if it's to remove Nightmare to be able to cast Aphotic Shield on a Fiend Script target, that sounds good to me.
sounds alright. For complexity, you need some damage dealers right now.
I kind of feel like you need an SF.
I don't know if they can protect one though. I thought sniper
I
originally.
mean, don't they have Coddle and Abaddon? I thought that was enough protection.
Potentially. I thought the sniper OD or something like that.
Yeah.
I
I mean, I
guess-
guess you don't have to fourth pick it up if you do have that many options. You have Sniper,
Whoa.
OD,
Dire team
SF.
That means Brew is a core.
Yeah. So safe lane, Moo, Brewmaster.
We are discounting it as a mid, which I think is a mistake here.
Oh yeah, because you already know your mid matchup, Lone Druid.
10 seconds remaining.
So that's a good point. I'm not. I
5
don't feel it
seconds
being a
remaining.
Suzy hero, but. And we know Moo has
Reserve
played.
time.
Moo's played safe lane Brewmaster in the past. Enigma.
Complexity's turn to ban.
Do have a lot of in-your-face heroes, high HP, Midnight Pulse, Black Hole. Feel pretty valuable right now. Gives you a sustain hero, early mech. Maybe not
10
pipe
seconds
if
remaining.
you feel like it's not needed. Maybe just go mech BKB
5
blink,
seconds remaining.
because there is not much that can remove it. Just the Spirit Breaker ultimate right now.
Reserve time.
There's
Goodbye,
the
Timber.
Dire team ban.
Timber saw ban.
It's not a bad ban at all. There's like no disable.
Yeah, that is the nice part about Enigma, right? Is that it can be both off lane or forward position. If you want to get greedy with it.
10
For
seconds
NP,
remaining.
I don't know. I could see a Beastmaster still.
Dire team pick.
I could see an offlane Enigma. and support Rubik.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds
Do we even see an
remaining.
axe?
Reserve time.
For me, complexity's lineup is the one that's more, I guess the word is interesting, because it's really wonky.
Yeah, NP's lineup is kind of determined. It's just the finishing touch on NP. Complexity, their whole entire strategy is going to be based around this last pick. Whether it's safe lane or a mid.
They're going to run at you for sure.
Yeah. And that is what Enigma is there for, right? Great hero being able to punish overextensions.
You know, it'd be a cool hero for complexity, but I don't know if they can do it right now. Naga Siren.
Yeah. There is not a whole lot of ways to be able to deal with illusions, not a whole lot of wave clear on the side of NP. They can't really split up that much because you have Spirit Breaker. Keeper of the Light's going to keep the side lanes pushed in pretty heavily. Magnus.
Complexities turn
So
to
an
pick.
off-lane Magnus for Team NP with the jungle Enigma.
There's a lot of farm that needs to be distributed right now on
Yeah,
NP.
that's pretty crazy, especially since you don't know if Magnus can actually make his lane work, and he won't have a supporting
10
craft
seconds remaining.
with that Enigma. AFK in the jungle.
5 seconds remaining.
I take back the Naga now.
Okay.
Reserve time. 10
You still on
seconds
the
remaining.
Sniper OD train? Whoa!
That is...
All right, there was no way we were guessing any of this.
This is... I mean, we got 2 heroes out of complexity,
Yeah.
but the other 3 were out of nowhere. And life... I mean, NPs, I didn't even see the Enigma Magnus coming.
The Complexity were the ones who ran a Bristleback.
Was it for Moo?
Yeah.
It had to have been.
Yep.
So that is a mid Brewmaster. And Eric Donk, 747 Susie Brewmaster.
Apparently. This will be interesting. So, looking at need to have a strong laning phase. Strong laning phase. Do some run at you shit. Get pretty damn farm where you're able to break
10
towers.
seconds remaining.
Because you're definitely on a timer, right? You're trying to go high
5
ground,
seconds
end this
remaining.
game before Lone Druids, Magnus, Enigma. Like, you scale pretty well on NP, and you're good at holding high ground.
Yeah. It's a little greedy, just because I don't know how you're going to gank or how you're going to distribute these levels.
Prepare
And
for battle.
farm gets crowded fast. That means complexity, they've got to be really aggressive in a game like this. They've got to force NP into their own jungle, and then you can take away a lot of their game. But I kind of feel like this Lone Druid's going to have a pretty good game. Most Lone Druids do have a pretty good game.
Yeah, you have to be pretty active to keep that hero down.
Oh, you know it'd be cool if you got Ags on Bristle.
Really?
No.
Is it that cool? I didn't think so. They played in the open qualifier, actually. That's where it was. They played it against Team Red. They played, it was with the Coddle as well. They had TA and Slardar in that game.
Oh yeah, it was the game with Viper.
Yeah.
We watched that game. It was in favor of Red for a bit.
30 seconds
Yeah,
to
I think
battle.
Red messed up pretty badly. We're thinking the Spirit Breaker should not. AUI? You okay? You're okay. Dance away to the trees, and you'll be fine. Complexity gonna try and take the right hand side of runes. So Brewmaster versus Mid
begins.
Magnus.
It looks like
AUI is currently going bottom. They're
They
going
are
to
swapping
TP in with
lanes.
Z-Freak here. Okay, everyone's swapping it around right now, but MSS is mid for now against Susie's 747's Brewmaster. They're going to be top lane with Moo, Bristleback, and Melon's Keeper of the Light against that Lifestealer. Spirit Breaker's obviously going to be roaming around, and no matter what the matchup is, so they wanted the 1v1 for the Lone Druid against the Abaddon. I think that feels pretty good. I'm just not sure about how well Envy will be able to fare as against the Bristleback like this. Wouldn't a Lone Druid do really well in this in place of this Lifestealer and give Lifestealer the 1v1 against an Abaddon?
I feel like it'd be fine. It's kind of surprising that they ended up switching as well, but maybe they were trying to dodge. I mean, ultimately, there's no kill potential for compLexity unless they mess up. It's pretty interesting though. They like switch every lane around. Like MSS is playing mid. Oh, this is a lot of harass.
Yeah, this sucks. A lot of tower shots. Miss out on melee creep. Have to make the long run around. SVG taking quite a bit of harassment from Moo. Moo, thanks to the Chakra Magic decreasing cooldown, he'll be able to get double quills quite a lot. So that is a cool little interaction, but nothing that's going to break the lane.
747.
Did he get skewered back again?
Yeah, twice.
Wow,
Onto the high ground too.
Comes in, 747 does have the healing sound, so he'll still be able to stick around in lane, but that is damn rough. Rose, meanwhile, what's he been up to? He's right now in the Radiant jungle. He'll take the 2-minute bounty rune, but he should be level 2 by now, but he had his camps taken away from him. Counter ward here, observer ward there. So that's why he went into the jungle for a little bit. Z-Freak, he's keeping his eye on Rose at all times. Really wants to make sure this Enigma isn't able to spiral out of control via 3-farm jungle.
I mean, spiral out of control. This guy's level 1 right now.
Yeah.
They've done such a good job. Although in this mid lane, this Magnus has been quite successful. Like, this is a lineup, or this is a matchup that I couldn't imagine MSS winning, but he's doing perfectly fine. He's forcing Suzy to buy a lot of regen. He got 2 skewers back in the tower. He's making the best of kind of a crappy situation.
Z-Freak runs into some Eidolons, says no thank you. SVG with a hole through the trees will get back to the tier 1 tower, but it looks like they're still going to go for this dive. Moo's racking it up right now. Z-Freak makes the connection, but doesn't wake up Moo. Gets the double quills down. Eternal Envy's going to slow him down underneath this tower. They do have the Bristleback advantage, but it's just not seemingly enough. Oh, can't quite finish him off. Moo does survive through all of that nasty attack, all thanks to his passive Bristleback.
Just gonna walk away. Things are evened out here in this bottom lane though. This Lone Druid's getting pretty much free farm, as we kind of anticipated, honestly. Like, I didn't think this lane was gonna be the best for Monkeys. Relative to what I thought he'd be getting, he's doing okay. The Lone Druid's gonna pop the shrine now. Monkeys, you gotta get out of here.
I kind of feel like he just wants to suicide, you know? Suicide TP back. That's got to be the most efficient play.
That's what he has to do now.
Dangerous.
He's just going to get chased down.
All right, he gets it off. So that's actually very efficient, right? You're only down for 10 seconds to TP back. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to be bringing any regen back into lane, which will very rapidly be in the same situation he was before. But
it's better than nothing. At least in a position like this.
Uh-oh, Moo's in trouble. SVG has the nuke to finish him off. That's going to be your first blood.
Yeah. Meanwhile, at top, this Enigma is still getting messed with, but at the end of the day, he's still getting something, whereas Z-Freak is just chasing him around. He doesn't really have anyone to gank either. This Lone Druid's not really gankable. This mid lane, it's not a thing because there's always going to be Skewer on Magnus. Like, he doesn't really have a game to play right now. And unfortunately for him, his lanes independently, they're going kind of okay. Like, Lone Druid obviously ahead, but so is this Magnus.
Charge to top lane, Eternal Envy. About half HP. A lot of quill stacks available here for the Bristleback. Instead, he's going to turn his attention to SVG. The charge continues onto Eternal Envy. Moo's not feeling comfortable sticking around against SVG, though, underneath that tower. In fact, Melons gets a little bit too close. Nightmared up. Eternal Envy gets the... All right, SVG will take the last hit instead. And this whole laning phase is clearly not going the way that compLexity intended it to.
Yeah. Despite having just the Bane up here and the Lifestealer, they're able to get kills. This is making quite a big difference.
To another suicide, sorry. Just dropped a little low.
Yeah, but both Moo and Melon's going down there in a lane that was kind of doing the best for them out of all of them. Now this Lifestealer is doing just fine. He's leapfrogged the both the Bristleback and the Brewmaster in farm. Your Magnus is doing excellently mid. He's already level 6. This Enigma is finally starting to pick up some levels, and more importantly, your Lone Druid off lane, not really an offlaner, so to speak, is also doing quite well for himself. Like everyone's just getting well. I don't understand. Every time it seems like a team plays against NP, NP just has these greedy heroes, but they distribute farm so well. And teams overextend trying to pressure, and then it leads to nothing. And you get into positions like this where you feel like you have to do something against a team like NP. It's really frustrating, I'd imagine. Not that I have watched a team do that from experience.
Brewmaster picks up the Arcane Rune, does have his ultimate. Would love to get a kill on MSS, and it looks like they finally will get it. MSS, oh, he tried to get off the RP right as the Spirit Breaker came in. Tries to get the Skewer over the cliff, not quite far enough. Can't get the distance away from compLexity, so we will indeed fall. The TP in from the Lifestealer may lead him to, oh, he already used Infest. He's just going to have to rage and try and run away, but he's surrounded by too many units. SVG actually managed to get a sleep off, quickly repelled out. Abaddon keeps everyone alive. Eternal Envy does manage to get out. In some ways, it does create a bit of space for AUI to threaten bottom, but compLexity, since they're all here, especially with an Abaddon, might as well start chipping away at that tier 1 mid.
It's not going to mean a lot though. NP going to come back in full force. This is the right idea right now. Protect your mid tower. Just don't let this go for free. Especially since compLexity are devoting so much to this. It doesn't really matter that Moo's getting a little bit of farm. Nobody's in this bottom lane either. So it's always worth it to defend a tower like that, especially if you can do it with minimal effort. Which is precisely what they did.
Maybe with the bit of chip damage they've done now, compLexity can take that mid tower sometime soon, but in the meantime they're going to have to deny their own safe lane tower. Moo currently working on Vanguard. So if they can get that Vanguard, perhaps the full out Crimson Guards, Abaddon is able to get Vlad's mech. They would have a really tanky, full-on sustain and aura strategy on their hands for team fight.
Yeah. And right now, I mean, not much happening so far, as once again, for compLexity anyways, they gotta wait. They need levels and items, and up at top, Melon's taking a lot of damage, doesn't have mana leak. It looks like Envy wants to chase this, but gonna get scared off.
Able to finish him off. Moo with the double quills, ready to go.
Yeah.
It's not to. They also have a double Aphotic Shield, actually, think about it later on. It's a cute little combination.
That is exactly the word for it.
Cute, but not cute, but not good.
It's not horrible.
I mean, it's like okay, but it's not gonna.
Yeah, cute's actually like the perfect word for it. They're gonna make the rotation up at top though, force this Lifestealer out, and during this time, I mean, you mess with one core, everybody else on the map is farming from NP. You've got Rose just about to get his level 6. He's got 1,200 gold on top of that. Opting not to go for the Soul Ring feels like he's a little bit too far behind.
I like this distribution of farm. You know, you've got SVG pushing up the layup. You've got the Lone Druid taking over the jungle, and then Rose is taking the off-lane jungle as well.
He's not an easy hero to kill either, this Bane. He's got 800 HP. He can just sleep. Imagine a Spirit Breaker charges him. He can just sleep him and then just TP out. And now Monkey's at bottom. Might just get gone on. Gonna get slept up. The Lone Druid making the long wraparound here as Z-Freak. Gonna come in, but it's just gonna be a saving grace as the rest of compLexity TPing in. And they need to get something out of this. You can't devote 4 heroes down here without making at least a push. It looks like it's gonna be full-on retreat for NP. And this is a dedication and a half as 747 in mid might just get RP'd.
Brought back into Rose, tries to get off the ultimate, but they get the ensnare, and there is the Malphus to stop him as well.
And that is how you make a gank happen. There's 4 heroes right now from compLexity at bottom. You need to get something off of this. You've given up all control that you can possibly have in this top lane as well. So Eternal Envy knows that he's going to get a free lane. Like, something needs to happen, and as a result, they just have to kind of force it here. It doesn't feel good because now everyone's going to TP down and defend this tower. So you've wasted over 2.5 minutes.
Hell, I don't even think like Lifestealer or Lone Druid need to TP, right? Much like the mid lane situation.
No, you just need to stick a few heroes here.
Minimal effort. If compLexity do really force it, then you can TP, deal those other cores in, and have a fight happen. But otherwise, we're pretty much daring compLexity to do something.
You notice something cool too is that they always stick somebody mid. They rotate who it is, but they've always got somebody mid. Protect this mid tower, make it so that compLexity always have to push out their lanes and they can't make any moves.
Radiant's top tower
And that's
is under attack.
precisely what you're seeing every time is, like, look, Envy gets charged at top, but it's like impotent rage. You know, he's just pissed. He's like, I want to do something about this, but I can't. And
So
they're
you're
still
saying
bottom.
Z-Freak is an angsty teenager right now?
He wishes, dude.
Not even that much.
Yeah, those guys are young. They've got lives ahead of them. They can change.
Z-Freak, this is his career.
Yeah, you don't always have to listen to Dashboard Confessional.
Brewmaster is trying to finish up the Blink Dagger. That will finally give compLexity some control in this game, right? When they make these rotations, it will be with some ease of execution, right? You're able to blink and get the slow and pop the ultimate. You can actually connect with your ganks a little bit easier than what compLexity's current setup is.
Yeah, because right now they're just walking around the map, slowly chasing after heroes that don't really care, that are way too tanky for them. And as a result, they're allowing NP's lineup to just continue to work. And right now, this is just a product of NP, really good draft, really good play overall. They're making all the right moves.
NB, what are you doing here?
Yeah. In a game where Freedom had a lot of success, it's because they were able to pressure in the team fights. And that's what compLexity is going to have to do to get back into this game. Because that's where NP was sloppy. You know, when the game was kind of forced at them, where it was like, we're going to take the fight to you at Roche, we're going to make smoke plays, stuff of that nature. That's what really threw off their timings. But when you let them get into a rhythm like this, as now they're coming in full force, defend this mid tower once again.
Take a lead with the sleep. Opportunity for MSS to try and get a skewer back. Doesn't go for it though. Bristleback's not the target he wants.
Everyone coming in now for this one.
Yeah, they're slowing down SVG pretty heavily. Rose is holding on to the black hole for now. He sees a good opportunity. Thinks better of it though. Brewmaster is preemptively throwing out the ultimate, so Rose knows the black hole is just going to get countered. SVG is going to be the sacrificial lamb here. He will be the one that dies for compLexity diving in deep. Looks like Rose may die as well. The Brewmaster ultimate was able to lock onto him, and they'll be able to pick up that kill. NP are saying this is just space. They aren't actually taking any objectives. We are. They take a tier 2 at bottom lane. Their mid tower is still up. In fact,
They're going to
NP
sandwich for this too.
might still be able to get a kill here. Slows down Z-Freak. Z-Freak has the charge out though, so he'll be good. Everyone else should be fine as well. So.
Yeah. But still, they defend their mid tower, one of the most important towers in the game. It allows them to continue to protect their jungle, gives them easy access to take fights as well.
Essentially, NP just said, we'll trade 2 supports for a tier 2 tower at bottom lane.
They were okay with that.
Yeah.
I think the ideal was that they only lose their Bane there, and even he was able to create a lot of space. I mean, Rose's build is a little bit greedy.
Yeah, just a bit.
Your team's a little bit greedy already. You've got
Take it,
3 cores, and then you're going to grab a Hanamitis. I applaud you, sir.
Echo Saber up next for moves Bristleback. We are beginning to get to one of the peaks for the Bristleback where he's got his maxed out passive and God, I wish they would change that name to something else but Bristleback. He'll have
Bristleback's got him.
a lot of tankiness. The best part is, I think, with this Keeper of the Light is he always has mana to work with. Another sleep onto the Abaddon. Abaddon is actually going to have to pop his ultimate here, forced out by the Shockwave. They're still going to be able to get the kill on SVG, it looks like, and won't be able to pursue the Abaddon. See if they're... Ooh, this mana loss is going to hurt MSS quite a bit. He doesn't have the mana to be able to skewer out until he pops the wand. Will be able to get the skewer over the cliff. Moo just wants to be able to focus on this tier 1 tower, but Eternal Envy, he tanks it all up, does manage to get the charge off, needs to be able to get infest, but there's no creeps anymore. He's just armlet toggling his way through this one. He does have some Eidolons if he wants to go there. Oh, he tried for it, but gets caught by the quills. Delayed out a little bit. Black Hole catches Susie, does manage to get Moo in there as well. Z-Freak does manage to get the charge onto Rose. They'll finish him off. They are fighting this one out pretty well with the Aphotic Shields. Melons does get caught. SVG tries to blow him up. MSS, there goes to sleep, and Melons does get nuked down. Monkey's unable to save his ally. Maybe he can help Z-Freak though. Z-Freak survives long enough to get the charge, but SVG caught him with the Fiend's Grip on the tail end of things. And there it is. MSS also gets the abaddon. 4 down from complexity. They get the tower, but the fight just goes on a bit too long.
Yeah, they might lose their mid tower for this as well. That was one of their more successful tries, though. We talked about how they needed team fights. This is how you get back into the game against a team like MP, but it might have just been one of those situations where their cores are just a little bit too far behind, as this lone druid has gone completely unchecked in a game like this. Has a full diffusal blade in his backpack as well. That's going to be what's going to help him deal with both this bristleback and this brewmaster.
Being able to like purge off the miss percentage chance.
Yeah,
Kite
and
these heroes around.
you can kite the bristleback and also just chase him down, do some mana burn. Triple
We do
purpose.
have very good roach taking potential on the side of complexity, especially since they do have a double damage on Moose, so that's what they're going to try and do right now. Black Hole's down, Fiend's Grip's down. They feel pretty comfortable that NP will not be able to successfully contest. It all comes down to whether or not there's a successful RP. Now, MSS does have the Blink Dagger, and there's a lot of heroes in the pit, which
Force
are
them all out.
just Savage Roared out.
Moo's going to try to finish this right now, and if NP are going to
be
defend
close. He needs to be able to get it. The RP goes out, but he managed to get the Aegis in time. MSS abandoned ship. He knows this fight is no longer theirs to take after the Aegis was grabbed by that bristleback. NP's just looking for an escape. Has an infest once again. He's not going to make it out. Tries to go for the kill on Mel.
They can get more. This Brewmaster is trying to chase out both
He
these
gets
supports.
2. He's going to be able to chase down SVG, it looks like, and has the Cyclone on the Enigma. No, has to give up on the SVG, so instead just gets the Enigma. Still a big kill.
They still want more here. Gonna run in, but unable to grab any more. And we talked about it. Team fights. This is where you lack too many long cooldown ultimates. There's so much pressure on a hero like this Magnus to be able to do something, and when he can't pick up multiple heroes, it does make it a little bit difficult for NP.
Yeah,
like this is a very high execution kind of lineup.
Yeah, I feel like that was like such a high-risk scenario. Even if you did hit the RP on multiple people, you've got borrowed time and a Photic Shield from the Abaddon. So you could say that 2 of the people you catch in the RP are not going to be affected, most likely.
Yeah. In this early game so far...
Oh,
I mean,
they're actually going to fight this one. Nice double clap there from Suzy as he gets recalled
that
in.
ulti, though.
The sleep on Monkey is going to cause some problems here as they need the extra bit of HP on Suzy, but he's just going to die here underneath the invis. Savage Roar wakes him up. The Photic Shield goes out. Skewer, though, is going to be able to finish him off, and NP are just... it's a grab bag. Whatever heroes they can get around their shrine, they will take those kills. Monkeys and 747 will be the 2 deaths of complexity, overextending themselves once again.
A little bit too greedy there. I think if you just get out, you take what you came for. You got a lot of key heroes. You got the Aegis. You just get out. But they overstayed their welcome just a little bit too long. NP, their strength is that because so many heroes are farming, at some point you're going to overwhelm people. You're just going to bludgeon them with the fact that you have more net worth. But for complexity, even though they don't have these heroes that scale necessarily, aside from the bristleback, they have ways around it because they have so much team fight. They've invested into these heroes that, without a lot of net worth, can do a lot. The problem, though, is for complexity, that means these team fights have to go well. It has to be like that Freedom NP game, remember, where even though NP had such a good early start, the team fights just consecutively went in favor of Freedom. And for NP to get little fights like this, like mini skirmishes, working out in their favor without having them pop the Black Hole or the Magnus RP, that's fantastic for them. Because that's what they rely on heavily to win these team fights.
SVG sticking around here. It's going to catch Moo mid-recall. Yeah, gets off that sleep. So finally the damage comes in from the Nightmare. They're going to bring 3 heroes to board here to try and bring down this bristleback. It'll be pretty easy. No one of complexity. They don't have a tower to TP onto. So round 2 of the bristleback. Oh, he blinks out just in time. Rose,
where's the
must not have
turnaround?
noticed that blink dagger now with no black hole. Maybe they could fight this one out. The Brewmaster ultimate has been used. SVG gets a helpful Force Staff out from MSS, but the Cyclone still managed to catch him. They quickly dispel that one and bring SVG down. What else are they going to be able to catch?
You got to get out of here.
He's got the charge onto AUI. AUI does not have
gonna
a
connect.
roar for 10 seconds, but he canceled it. Z-Freak decides against it, had an ultimate too.
Definitely think he should have just kept going for that.
MSS still wants to fight this though. He's got the Infest inside of him right now. He could go for the RP. He sees the situation. Z-Freak managed to bump back. AUI gets off the Savage Roar. A Photic Shield actually keeps Z-Freak alive. Moo really wants to kill on AUI, but an RP prevents him from pursuing. Still tries to chase it out, but a Root and Snare comes out, and the rest of complexity looking ineffective now. as they, lacking their damage dealer, have to full-on get out of this team fight. MSS is going to try and chase down one of them. That's going to be Monkeys Forever, looping it away through the trees. Does have a TP and an ult, but there is a skewer to be able to stop him.
Yeah, feel like maybe he should have just committed for that, because it sort of baited his team into getting out of position. And at that point, you're either all in, or it's going to be rough for the rest of your group. Because then it was actually Moo that had to soak up so much of that damage. Very good blink from him. He's still at the top of the net worth chart. Fight ultimately ends up being sort of okay.
But it could have been better.
Yeah, that could have been so much better for compLexity. They just didn't have the good angle for the brew split. Once that ended, compLexity weren't sure. You could see there was a moment of hesitation between their teammates. Like, do we still continue to pursue for this, or are we okay with not taking this fight? Oh, we should note, by the way, you can't self-defusal, so it's not like the Drunken Haze.
Oh, true. I forgot.
I just realized, I was like, I don't want to give people wrong info.
What you're saying is you don't want me to give people wrong info.
But I don't want to subtly call you out, you know?
Shadowblade up next for the Magnus after that Force Staff. We're still working on the Axe Melons, quite slow, but compLexity have been on the wrong side of a lot of team fights. So
Just look at the brick of net worth. It's just you see all green in the bottom chunk, and I mean team fights you can still win them with this range of net worth, but that opportunity is slowly going to slip out of your hands. Like you're going to get behind to a point where it becomes a little bit too difficult.
Oh no, the charges have just been used, and SVG manages to actually stay ahead of that attempt blink.
Rose is going to die though at top.
Yeah, good catch still.
That is a huge target. Because of the net worth difference, that was 500 gold.
Yeah, that's... Z-Freak's a pretty happy camper.
That is kind of absurd to me.
The way Z-Freak keeps on surviving through many of these team fights, he's actually going to have a really good progression in net worth.
Yeah. I like the idea of not going for an immediate Midas or something. He realizes, I can't do that. It's a little bit too greedy. And compLexity still pushing the pace. Unfortunately for them, once again, there's that brick of net worth that they have to go through. You do have to get into a team fight to try to close that kind of gap.
So all NP need to do is slow down the game, right?
Yeah.
Like they shouldn't be aching to try and fight, because this is compLexity's probably biggest peak in power. They've got a lineup that is very well oriented around the mid game, which is what you're talking about when you have lower net worth but still heroes that are able to fight at this time.
You have a Midas Enigma, you're fine.
Yeah.
All four of your heroes are going to scale incredibly well. We saw what Magnus can do in the late game. Enigma, you've got like a failsafe in that regard. You have two very well damage dealing cores. You've got a Bane who's incredibly tanky, can do his job as well. The only hero that you really have to worry about too much is this Bristleback. As
an Invis charge.
Here we go.
Colonel Envy's still going to stick around though. Maybe this isn't the right idea. It does have the ultimate.
They need
another
this kill.
charge is coming up. They need a bash though to stop this
17!
TP. Where is it? Z-Freak, he's going to be feeling that one. That was such a big kill to grab.
I mean, it was only 3 hits, though. I think odds were not in his favor. He had to get lucky there. And that would have been actually unbelievable if you got bashed there.
It would have been too unbelievable, right? 17% 3 times?
Yeah.
It's got to be close to 50.
It was just funny that that Envy just like casually walked away, TPs, no fear.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe he stuck around. Just, MSS, his alarm bells were going off. He's like, I'm out.
He knew he would fight the RNG battle.
Yeah.
He felt confident.
Sometimes, when he went 0-6 on his rolls in the group stage,
it's got to pay off at some point.
Yeah, the RNG is eventually going to swing back in your favor.
Yes. It's a pendulum, Austin.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you sucked as a caster and then you got better. Huh. And once I left...
Oh, then it's going to swing back the other way now?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I've mech, so...
Oh.
You just consistently swing.
You give me a momentary respite into my decline as a caster.
Yeah, everyone will forget you suck ass for this little bit of time.
For another 6 months.
Yeah.
You just come back every 6 months.
It's like a rub, yeah. It's a rub.
Hey guys, Cap is still good.
Alright, so... Envy, gonna push out this top lane. He does have to be a little bit careful. I think that that situation at top should alert him to the fact that he's not invincible. Like, the Rage isn't going to be able to always save him. compLexity do deal quite a bit of damage, but their cores, I mean, they're trying to scale. 747 has a Midas, going to go for a Radiance himself.
Well, they know about this smoke. Did get the charge on it.
Zfreak.
Zfreak gets himself close enough to pop the smoke
Ooh,
while he's
very
in with
smart.
the Shadow Blade.
They were trying to set up for the potential next Roshan, compLexity, and now there's going to be an Aghanims on this Keeper of the Light, so helping out the team fights a little bit more.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is
Smoke
falling.
time
gonna
for
smoke themselves.
compLexity. They gave up that
Dire's
tier
bottom
2. I'm sure
tower is
NP,
under
they
attack.
know there's the potential rotation across this area.
Yeah.
So
This is quite a forced high ground as now NP will know that there was a smoke attempt. They're going to get out in full force. They don't want to get wrapped around. They're going to try to find a better angle for this. And they know that Roshan is up as well, and this is going to be a huge one. Aegis on a hero like Lone Druid, I don't know if you're going to be able to kill him twice.
compLexity, even though it's very clear NP know about this, they're still going to try and make this smoke rotation work. Smoke gets popped on 747, and he's not able to get a clean jump.
Just nowhere to really start from, as NP are pretty clumped up. They want to take this fight in numbers, as instead they're going to go in Roshan. They want to force this. They need to force fights. This net worth differential is just going to keep climbing.
An Arcane Rune is just as good as a double damage for a Bristleback in a mid-game fight like this, so this is still going to be dangerous for NP. And they're fighting into Ags. They're fighting into daytime Ags for Keeper of the Light.
They don't want to give up this Aegis, though. You can tell.
They're going to make the RP initiation onto Monkeys. That is all. The borrow time immediately popped by him. He's going to be slept up.
Oh, here comes
747 makes his
747.
jump forward. Monkeys is going to be brought down pretty quickly, though, but 747 has controlled the two supports the back lines, while the front heroes are going to go straight for the Lone Druid. They want AY. They want him dead. They want him dead now, right before the Shrine can heal him back up. Moon now fights it out against 3, against 4. There goes the Fiend's Grip, held in, and there's no stopping it. That means our Bristleback is now going to die. 747 can at least clean up that support, but 3 down inside of compLexity. I thought that was going to be a good fight for them, but yeah, like there was no black hole used. They popped like a pretty decent Brewmaster ultimate, I felt, and it still did not go their way.
That Lifestealer and Magnus do so much damage to this Bristleback. Like, he's overestimating how tanky he is.
Nice
they didn't even
blinding
have to
light
use.
pushback.
Yeah, they didn't even have to use Black Hole in that engagement at all. I mean, Swindles played this fight very well. He was able to control up the Enigma for
He
quite
still
some
wants
time.
to fight it. Like, Rose knows I can't just let this support hero do whatever he wants. Susie takes the opportunity to be able to jump
gonna walk
onto
in,
this
it's too
Enigma,
late.
but it is going to be the Aegis up. Eternal Levy's kind of low, but a nice skewer back deeper into the dire side of these two heroes. And Fest jump in. They're hoping MSS will be able to survive. There's no counter vision here, so they actually turn around, pop out, go for Melons. Are going to be able to get the nuke out, but the blinding light is not going to be enough to protect them. They do get the Magnus in the end, but Eternal Levy's just manning up against 747. They need to be able to get the RNG. They actually took it out as he armlet toggled. He dies with the Aegis, and now compLexity are going to try and surround this Lifestealer. Lifestealer tries to make his way back to the high ground, and compLexity will not pursue. All in all, I think they should be very happy with the way that Roshan engagement went, seeing as they had to pretty much give up Aegis.
Yeah. It's one of those situations where it's still rough, though. Like,
Oh yeah, it's not getting any better for Cole.
Yeah, I don't know how this Brewmaster... I mean, he's kind of scaling. He's got a Radiance now, but I don't know how much of this game that changes.
It does not feel like 747 is going to be relevant for much longer.
Yeah. He's trying to scale, though, into a core, which I agree with, instead of going all into your Brew ultimate or anything like that.
Sure. And I don't think Bristleback has a whole lot of longevity either. I think you peak out when you have like your first like big item.
Yeah, he's just getting
AC, and then you have level 3.
They're just dumping spells on him
Warpath.
right now, and he's not really able to survive through it. If he gets RP'd every time, ooh. Gem now picked up by MSS.
Oh yeah, did he get the gem that Cole? No. Okay. Cole reclaimed their gem that they lost earlier.
If they had lost that for good, the game gets really rough there.
They still have not. It's still the offlane tower seems to be the last to fall. compLexity are beginning to rotate over here. Melons is ready to bring in the Bristleback at some point.
They're trying to let him finish his AC.
Dire's middle tower
You notice
is
he's
under
even hunting
attack.
for this bounty rune. Before they gather up, they're just going to buy a little bit of time. And he's going to push out this top area. He desperately needs this AC, or he thinks it might be, you know, what's going to help him win the next engagement. But if he gets it and it makes no difference, then the game gets really hard for him. Because what is he going to build after that that really changes the face of the game at that point?
Right. So he's picked it up now. He doesn't even finish off the creep wave. Immediately goes for that Hyperstone, finish off the AC. But compLexity are actually not in a position to fight at bottom yet. They do have the charge out onto the Lone Druid, just trying to keep some vision. But Lifestealer's shown himself at top, so they know they're a bit separated. Where are they going to go with this? Cole can go bottom, or they can go top. One or the other, but...
Envy's going to try to meet up with his teammates halfway through. He realized the mistake. He's like, I can't actually be here.
Do you think it was a mistake by compLexity when once Lifestealer showed himself, they didn't immediately run towards the...
I mean, it would have been too slow.
You think
You're
so?
you're
Okay.
relying at that point on Envy to just stay, which I think is kind of unreliable. Because then you're just chasing NP heroes around the map, which is what they were doing in what got them in trouble in the first place.
Right. One of the big advantages of Dire Shrine, right? Close proximity
Yeah.
to this jungle area.
Especially when you push out the lanes this aggressively. But I mean,
Radiant
AUI is doing
structures are fortified.
a ton of damage to this bottom lane. The rest of his team is now going to group up.
They have a
meet
Spear
him there.
Breaker charge on the Lifestealer.
Yeah, they ping like crazy. They know that he can't get there either. And compLexity are still at top. They've got to get back to defend this. Because now NP going to be knocking on your door in just 1 second. Instead, they're going to circle around, get back.
All NP have to do now is, now that they force the heroes back away from the top lane, just cut through to mid, take that tier 2.
Is under attack.
They deal so much damage to towers. Tower hitting is not an issue for
Radiant's
this lineup at
middle
all.
tower has fallen.
Not.
compLexity though, they've got to force heroes around the map. They've got to hope for situations where NP might split up and farm. But I think NP realizes, well, that's the only way that they can really lose. So they're going to take control of things together. As Envy splits up a little bit, no problem though. There's no way that they have any vision there on the side of compLexity.
Haste.
They have a gem as well, right? Just get control of your jungle, make sure it's not warded. Which is
Control the
exactly what they're
jungle.
doing.
Just make sure they don't have any aggressive vision. Just play defensively and wait until compLexity crash into you. Is that sort of the play?
Yeah. I think the next Roshan will matter a lot too. For NP, there's no hurry. All their heroes are scaling. This Bane has 3,500 net worth, but his team will carry him. His team is so strong. Just a bunch of buff dudes.
Oh, he doesn't have a gold talent.
Oh.
Charge on AUI actually bumps
Z-Freak.
Rose as he tries to come in. MSS misses out on the skewer, but the Savage Roar actually pushes Z-Freak that direction. What? He gets a little bit of heal, but he
Full
is
retreat, boys.
fully out of position. What the hell kind of pathing is that? Savage Roar sends him this way instead of just back?
In a way, that was the closest.
You think so?
I
From,
don't.
from like this point, it's got to be faster. Just, you know, head back.
To be fair, I
instead of-
think he was dead, but yes, you are correct. That was very awkward.
All right, well, I don't know. compLexity aren't going to get too much stronger than this. They've got the level 3 Ags Abaddon. That is another significant teamfight upgrade for them quite soon. Move's going to try and take this outer tower and rely on a recall back when necessary. He's got to be careful of AUI, though. AUI is actually going to be really dangerous for this Bristleback when he split pushes. If he gets the Silver Edge, breaks it, pulls the bear in. There it
No
is.
BKB either. On Moo. Not even coming anytime soon either. He's trying to grab evasion right now because his bigger issue is this lifestealer that just chunks into him right now. Empowered lifestealer.
Go for the tier 2. compLexity. They're so desperate to force something here. They cancel out on that charge. It's just too far back. 747 does get the initiation, though.
Oh,
A
that's a
3-man
three-man
clap
clap.
into the ultimate. That is a good one. They're going to be able to lock down SVG first and hopefully finish him off, but maybe not. The Guardian
Oh,
Greaves
no
actually
one's
keeps them
dying right
alive,
now.
and that is all the Pandas.
No
Eternal
one's
Envy just
dying.
cleared down the Pandas. Now they get the RP on the
How
move.
fast can Moo die?
He's turned around, but they managed to skewer him back into the tier 3 tower. They do have a lot of heals for him, so it's not going to be so easy. Monkeys, though, is going to be slept up. SVG gets on the Fiend's Grip. The wards are just too much. He gets too many quills out. Monkeys popped his ultimate to be able to get up out of that nightmare and will be able to get away. Z-Freak may not be as lucky. 4 seconds till he can charge away. Oh, but Melons has the gem, and that's the important one. Does try and push back AUI, but Monkeys is going to try and help out his buddy, but the skewer back. That should ensure it. Melons will lose that gem.
Very good. Net worth swing right now is NP only loses Bane. 3,800 net worth. You're not even going to get money for him. It looked like such a strong initiation, but they just those bears got shredded with their bare hands.
Huh. Those Brewlings did not last long. Once I saw that stone one, I was like, oh, I'm sure there's a storm panda or something hanging around.
Just died. They all died real quick.
All dead.
Tower is under attack.
Eternal Envy's now working on Abyssal Blade, further lockdown had for NP. They're just kind of waiting out Roshan at this point in time. No need to push for high ground. If they lose a high ground fight, they may be giving up Aegis to compLexity.
Yeah, nothing that you want to do that could potentially impact the game. You can just wait for the Roshan. You're not in a rush. All the onus because of this brick of green. Right now, compLexity, they're so far behind in net worth. It's almost entirely up to them to force these fights, because if it's a passive farming game, NP love that. They're just like, our heroes are much better at scaling. You saw how quickly this Radiance, Midas, Brewmaster just went down. He had the 20 strength talent. Even if he respawns, he gets like 4 hit.
Trying to get multiple halberds. They've got one in Bristleback. The other one's coming up on Spirit Breaker.
It's not even the halberd that you want, though. You need a BKB right now.
Yeah. And those halberds are going to be very quickly dealt with. I'm sure in another 10 minutes or so, we're going to start seeing MKBs coming out for NP.
They've got a Silver Edge already.
Yeah.
They are going to kill this Bristleback so incredibly fast.
Cheese for AUI. The Aegis goes to
AUI. This is how it should be.
Cheese on Eternal.
This bottom lane, they've got to deal with it. They might just want to head down mid as well, though. Nope, Envy's gonna make his way down, get travels delivered, deal with this bottom lane himself. Spain not even bothering to head over. Look at him, he's got a casual buckler. Go you, SVG. Honestly, what are you gonna buy right now that makes any sort of difference?
I think the only item is they don't have a Solar Crest. That matters too much. Charge up. I mean, Z-Freak's job is now split pushing.
Yeah, this is his life now.
I think it's always a bad sign when that's your job as a Spirit Breaker. Oh, charge back, and they manage to get the Fiend's Grip onto 747. They're going to try and finish him up and use that ult from MSS to be able to control up. And Moo going to be skewered back a little bit more, easily dropped. NP, they're now just going to pick up whatever they can. Melons and Monkeys both having a hard time being able to get away. Monkeys pops his ultimate. Charge coming through on the other side of things. All right, it looks like all those supporting crew are actually going to be able to get out, but it's still a problem with Moo down for 60 seconds. NP are going to start hitting the base.
Backdoor protection, very comfortable hitting this base too. They don't have RP, but they still have BKB Black Hole.
Got all the outer towers too. All those tier 2s are gone, so NP could just go 1, 2, 3 real quickly in this 30 seconds. That the Bristleback is down. Blinding Light. Try and slow them down as best as possible. Z-Freak, Glimmer Cape will be able to walk away. AUI just deals so much damage though, and he's not being hit by these Blinding Lights. Jump forward by 747. Nice Savage Roar stopping that ultimate. Susie will hold on to it now until the Black Hole comes in. Catches Susie. That's going to be a die back with the Brewmaster. No, he managed to get off the ultimate. Nice charge in. The ultimate comes out for the Spirit Breaker, stopping the Black Hole, allowing Susie to be able to get off his ultimate, and maybe they can finally win a fight with the Bristleback out. They're going to try and chase down some of these heroes. MSS in the background managed to get himself away, but Eternal Envy, he's going to be locked down. Does have the cheese, though. He can turn and fight it. They can just get the control on it, but the cheese goes down, and now Eternal Envy should be able to easily clean up this fight. Actually backs himself away. A little bit scared, though. Slows down Moon, gets the open wounds on him. Monkey seems to be able to get off the Aphotic Shield, though. Stops the Fiend's Grip. Susie's down for 90 seconds. All these buybacks coming out, and MP, they know they could just run over this game at this point in time. 3 heroes are up on the side of compLexity, and they're going to try and fight this one out. AUI almost losing his Aegis here. Off the charge, a Z-Freak. Moo comes in, and that's the burst damage needed. 70 seconds down. A skewer back onto Monkeys as well. With 2 of these big cores down for a minute apiece, I don't see how compLexity could possibly fight this one out. Z-Freak's just going to try and make himself best impersonation of a bowling ball before they are forced to GG out this game 1.
Yeah, and this is definitely going to be a game as NP just getting flat out. They're just rolling over complexity right now. Since the laning phase, we talked about how even when there was like 1 or 2 bright moments in team fights, Cole would just overextend a little bit too much, and NP just bludgeoned them with the fact that they were farming all over the map. Like, they had people constantly farming at all times.
Yeah.
They were just running complexity around the map ragged. Complexity weren't able to get enough on the map either when they did win fights. It's like they had that fight mid where it looked kind of successful, and then NP immediately got 2 kills back. Then the game just kind of reset.
Do you feel like it's, I mean, I think the draft definitely plays some point in it, and there's also some execution. I feel like the draft made complexity, they were so under pressure, and they also didn't have a setup that would guarantee allow them to win the laning phase. NP just play it kind of safe and conservatively and play off of that greedy 4 position.
No, for sure. I felt like when you're under the gun or under the timer, then you feel like you're constantly pressure, whereas NP was just like casual. They're like making good moves around the map. They're not forcing anything. They're just, you know, they're letting the game develop in front of them. Whereas complexity, they're looking at the enemy lineup, or they should be thinking to themselves, wow, this Magnus had a free lane. This Eternal Envy guy has not been touched at all. AUI, there was nobody against him for like 3 minutes straight. Rose now has a Midas. Like, we need to be doing something at all times because of the nature of our lineup, and they just weren't. This Brewmaster, I think, was meant to deal with this lone druid, but everyone just had such a good time that it didn't really matter.
So the pressure builds up, and complexity are not able to execute well enough to be able to claim game number 1 in this winner bracket final. We're going to take a break and be back with complexity versus NP game 2.